Developing the skills to resolve disagreements with respect and maturity. This is what we want to help you men on the line to deal with today. You have to be able to peacefully, respectfully deal with conflict because conflict is coming your way. All right. I don't want to sound like the bearer of bad news, but you're going to have to deal with conflict. And so let's go to Proverbs 15:1. This is the first thing that comes to my mind. We think about conflict resolution. Feel free at any time, Daoud. You feel free if you ever have anything you want to add, feel free to let me know. All right. Proverbs 15 and verse number 1. This is conflict resolution at its best right here. It said, "A soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger." The first part is what this is the conflict resolution. A soft answer turneth away wrath. And so when you have an individual that is raising their voice and they're rah, and they're pumping up and they nose is flaring. This is another interesting fact that I've found out by diving a little bit deeper into the Hebrew language, the ancient language, right? Is that when you look at the pictograph, and for those of you that know about the pictograph, you know that they express words by pictures and symbols. And so when you look at the word, at the word that we know as angry, when you look at that in the ancient Hebrew, it's a picture of a nose. And that picture of a nose has to deal with, if you're dealing with a person that's dealing with that language, they will see a picture of a nose and they know that it causes the nose to flare up. So if that person was looking at that picture of a nose flaring up, it will automatically picture in the brain of what we look at as angry today. So when a person's nose begins to flare up and their skin complexion starts to get red and they start to get their chest start to poking their chest out. All right. You have a choice. You're either going to go back and forth with these individuals and be arguing and raising your voice again. What does it say in Proverbs chapter 13? Only by pride comes contention. So are you going to be humble in your conflict resolution? Are you going to be able to say, hey, my brother? Because the scriptures say a soft answer turns away wrath. But the world will tell you that you are a punk. The world will tell you that you are effeminate by trying to de-escalate something, by trying to make sure that you can go back home to your wife and your children at night, by trying to make sure that someone doesn't get out here and pull a bullet out and pull a gun out and try to shoot you. So a soft answer, it turns away wrath. We have to make sure that we incorporate that in our everyday lives, because you young men on the line, that's full of testosterone right now. You're teenagers, you're young adults, and you don't want to back down from nobody. And somebody puts their chest out to you, you're gonna pump your chest back out to them. All right, you're gonna let that person know. All right, that pride is gonna kick in. But you have to be wise. You have to be to the point to where you like, listen, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to resolve this conflict. I know what Sean likes to do, like what Sean told me before, even when he sees two people arguing, Sean say, listen, I'll walk away. I'll walk away from the conflict. I'm not trying to get into that. So you got a choice to walk away, or you got a choice to calm down in a more manageable tone. This is something that we need to take heed to as well, is where did this conflict come from? Where did this come from that this person all of a sudden started hating me? I thought we was cool. I thought we was good. I thought we was on good terms. Where did the root of this come from? Did it come from a discord sower? Did it come from the fact that we had someone that was cool with both of us? Don't you know that you have individuals? Now I know this is more prevalent when it deals with women and females and things of that nature, but you will have someone that will be friends with two different people, and they will start seeing these other two people kind of getting closer. So what they would do is they will start planting seeds of discord, and they will cause these people. That's what discord means. It's a cause contention between two parties that are at peace with one another, and that's why in Proverbs chapter 6 it said the Most High hates the discord sower, along with the other 6 things that he hates, and they will cause these people to start arguing and fighting and going at each other, just so that they can be able to be either cool with one of them again or have their own separate relationship with both of them. All right, so we have to make sure that we are watching that. Where does the root come from of these conflicts in our own lives, in our families, family members, mother and fathers, brothers and sisters, friends, business partners. Like where can we pinpoint where this conflict started at? Can we go back at the first time where this person offended us, but we did not say nothing right away? We did not address that person like Proverbs chapter 25:9 said. And we allowed things to keep building up on that. And then all of a sudden, it just took the smallest little thing to tick us off. And now we're ready to fight that person. We're ready to pull out a gun. We're ready to do whatever we can to prove our point. All right. Some people, like you said, they want to make it their business. They want to make it their business to be contentious. They want to make it their business to have outs and all kind of things with people. Like they thrive off of that. And then they will have the Facebook followers making, and they would have everybody on Facebook thinking that they're right. They'll be painting you out as the devil. All right. So, and that's a whole nother illusion right there, that Facebook world. It's a whole nother world on there. Daoud shaking his head like, man, brother. So now we got to look at these communication techniques, active eye listening statements. If you got that on your syllabus, we getting closer to the end of this one. Active eye listening statements. When you hear a person say "I," that's some people when they talk about Lucifer or Halel in the scriptures, they said he had an eye problem, and I'm not just talking about the eye that's blinking, but I will ascend above the throne of sides of the north. I will do this. I will be like the Most High. A lot of times when you see two people arguing back and forth, especially a husband and wife, business partners, friends, you will have someone to say, I do this, I do that, I do that, I do that. They'll be fighting back and forth. And when you hear a bunch of I is the middle letter in the word pride. It's right there in the middle. Pride. The I is right in the middle of that thing. You got to careful. You got to watch out for saying that I, because it's going to be challenging to resolve a conflict when you have a person that's always saying that I do this and I do this and I do this and I do that, and then you got the other person who you arguing with will say, "Well, I do this and I do that and I do that too." How are you going to resolve a conflict like that? Someone is going to have to be humble enough to not even go out there and say and broadcast everything they do. They're going to have to leave that between them and the Father. The Most High knows what I do in this house. The Most High knows what I do among these people. I don't have to be over there saying I do this and I do that and I do that and all that. So just keep that in mind, all right? As you're dealing with conflict resolution, let's try to limit the eyes. They have a saying out in the business world: seek to understand, then to be understood. And going back to what Darren the Inspirer said, going back to what Daoud was talking about, all right, are you looking to maintain the relationship or are you looking to win the argument? Even a lot of people that like to go online and debate with one another, they're more into debating as into edification, into reasoning. We're coming together to reason with one another. Then I could come together with everyone on this line and we could pull out the scriptures, we could pull out the word, we could even talk practical, and we can reason with one another. But when you come into a situation ready to debate, you're not really looking to listen to another person's standpoint. You're just listening to wait till they finish talking so you can go and share what you need to share. All right, so think about that. Think about the eyes. So I want to give right here on the bullet point, it says to give a biblical example of peacemaking. Do anyone out here have a biblical example of two people that made peace with one another? They had a conflict resolution in the scriptures and they came to peace. Anyone that stands out in your brains right now? What you got over here, Daoud? I know you got something on your mind. Go ahead, Daoud. I know if somebody wasn't going to raise their hand, I know Daoud was about to raise his. What you got for us?
All praises. Abraham and his nephew Lot or Lot. They were together. For those who don't know the story, Lot is Abraham's nephew. They were together. They were traveling. Both of them got rich, and it's interesting because it wasn't necessarily them with the problem. It was the people that were under them with the problem, and they had to come together and like, look, we family. I don't want no problems. You go your way. I'm gonna go the opposite way. And I think that says a lot. I mean, Lot was a little foolish for that. But regardless, the point is the aspect of conflict resolution. Sometimes you have to part ways with those who otherwise you wouldn't part ways with in order for both of you to grow, or at least in order for you to grow. You have to know when it's time to let the Most High take it. And with that, I yield.
Powerful, man. I'm telling you, man, Dawood, you've been on here lighting this thing up today, man. All praise to the Most High, man. Hey, that's a wisdom nugget. There are people in your life that you may have to give the gift of goodbye to. I'm gonna say it one more time. There are people within your life that you may have to give the gift of goodbye to, Sean. You might have to say, you know what, we've been on this journey long enough. I don't want to keep going back and forth with you. I don't want to keep fighting. I don't want to keep arguing. Let's not strive against each other. We are brethren. Let's just end this thing peacefully. And when we see each other, we can still hug and embrace, but we need some time away from each other. All right, appreciate you, Dawood, for that. And my man Elia in the chat. Elia said Jacob and Laban. All right, so now that was a heated situation right there. Jacob had basically made this man richer than what he was when he came down there because of the favor of the Most High that was on his life. And he said, I know by experience that I've increased since you've been down here. He know by experience that what he had when Jacob came, and he knew what he had when Jacob was down there. And that favor comes from the Most High. And so when it was time to leave, though, according to the ancient custom of the Oriental people, is that when you are getting ready to leave a person's house, these individuals were supposed to send you away. That's why when you read the scriptures, they would say, send me away now, send me away. Now, in today's world, we just get up and leave somebody's house. Like, hey, you know what? It's time for me to get up out of here. Peace be unto you, my brother. But then they wanted you to send them out of their house. It was a formal way. They had to send you away. All right. And so Jacob was like, I'm not following the custom this time. I gotta take my wives and I gotta get up out of here. And so Jacob took his wives and he left. Laban pursued him after a 3 days journey. He caught up to him, and then they had to deal with some conflict resolution right there. But Laban pressed him and said, if you take any other wives besides my daughters, there's nothing in between us. And so they put that stone right there. He said, Adriel put in there Joseph and his brothers. Oh my goodness, conflict resolution right there. Man, man, man. That's one of the toughest ones that we can ever think about right there. Joseph and his brothers.